Hi, everybody. Welcome to Illum's Tea of Life. Illum Digital is a spiritual magazine for the age of Aquarius, bringing you empowering stories from across the globe. In today's episode, we have Gaurav with us. And from what I've heard about him, he's a very insightful person. So I'm really excited to have this chat with him today. Gaurav, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm very good. Thanks a lot, Siva, for this. I'm doing this for the first time. I'm also equally excited and see like how it goes.
I'm I'm so glad. So tell me more about yourself. Like, what do you do and anything that you would like to share?
So about me, so best thing, I think the thing which I like most to do is to not take things seriously. I try that, but yeah, from the profession, I'm a mechanical engineer by training, and it was my passion. So it has always been my passion, and then that was a little, I was working on it, and I studied something on the computer science, and now I'm working somewhere in field. And that's the professional part. So apart from that, I try to keep, because we sit every day on the trip, I try to be active and move around with whatever sports I can. Either I go for a run or some walk or something. I try to bring in with the swimming or anything which keeps me, how do you say, balance out the modern day smoking or fit. So that's how
Wow, going
I
for a
do it.
run is incredible, like I mean, I don't have any flat surface here because I live in the mountains and this is a quite a steep mountain and but just a couple of months ago, I was down in Chiplun and I was at the beach and I started running and it felt so good. And I also realized that I'm so out of shape. Like I can walk the mountains,
That's
you know, you
that's
can.
that's that's I guess. Yeah. So yeah, with me as well, I was out of routine for quite some time due to yeah, one or other event things were happening, and then I went for the gym after 3 months or something on a treadmill. In 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm out of shape. I could feel it. But
You know,
yeah, the
that's
good thing is quickly. The body adapts too quickly. I'm always amazed. Like when I've had this break like quite some time. Like you're in a good routine, something happens, you all go haywire, then you come back after 3 months, but in 3 weeks the body is again back where you had left. So I'm always amazed like how quickly it recovers.
absolutely. That's what I find really, really fascinating about bodies, that how quickly they adapt. Like, I am, first of all, a coastal person. I was born in Mumbai. My parents are from Tamil Nadu, the coast, so I've always been in warm, humid weather. But, like half a decade ago, I moved to Darjeeling and I went into a really cold uh, place
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was surprised, like it took me just like a 2 months, and
Okay.
I got used to the cold, and now I can't bear the heat. I can't bear to go down, and I'm like, wow, and it's crazy, even every time I hike up, I climb, and I think, oh my God, this is going to be impossible. I'm not going to be able to climb. My body is given up, but somehow,
Yeah,
I do it. So
yeah,
hobbies are
because I
great
had
tech.
yeah, yeah. Like yes, like I when I moved to Germany, I grew up in Andorra. It's a hot city. It's like 40 degrees is very normal in summer there. And winters are what like winters are 30 degrees or 25 degrees. It is hot. When I went to Germany, it was negative. I used to sleep by the heater in the first few months. And then in a year or so, yeah, I was out in the 10 degrees with a light shirt and a yeah, t-shirt and a shorts maybe. So yeah,
Yeah,
our body has and find its way on its own without you doing things at times.
absolutely. The bodies are, a great, great machine, I would say. Okay, so
Also,
I'm going to jump into the first question I have for you today, which is, could you share one experience in your life that completely transformed it?
transformative. Then, yeah, I think that would be my pre-burnout phase, I guess. A few years back, I called yeah, after COVID, I guess, maybe 2021, somewhere around that time,
Hmm.
2021, mid, I guess. Right. So, as I said, I was a mechanical engineer by passion. So the work I was doing, it was not just for the money for me, there was a passion involved.
Mm-hmm.
And so when passion is involved, like how do you say, you take things to the heart and you are trying to do always the really the right thing and everything and not being so practical. But corporate is all about being practical. You, you are not paid to do the right thing. You are paid to do the practical thing.
Right.
So yeah, I had a very there were a lot of changes going around and has a lot of internal struggles and everything. And then yeah, the effect of it was I had a not a really bad burnout, I would say, but I was almost there. If burnout is there, I was yeah right there in the and like I couldn't think. Like the moment I sit in front of PC, and the moment I start thinking, I have a headache, bad
Oh,
headache. So
damn.
I had to get up from work and everything. So this lasted for 3, 4 months. Then you are not working. Then your schedule goes out of this thing. Then you are trying to sleep. Then you are slipping into depression and everything.
Right.
And so, but yeah, from that phase, then that was a really transformative phase. Then I said, okay, I need to distance myself from the work. Okay, then okay, this is a real work. You can't be all passionate about it. That the passion is very applied somewhere else in the personal life, but not when the money is involved because that yeah, you can't justify both things together. I guess one is very practical, one is very how do you say the right thing or the right thing to do.
Right.
So so yeah, that was a very transformative phase for me where I learned to distance myself from work, have a complete shutdown, leave the laptop out. Like once I come home, I don't see my laptop. Like if I
Right.
see, I think of because I'm yeah because it's, yeah okay I need to solve this problem. I need to solve this problem. But yeah, then I learn yeah we need to take a forced break. But if I see my laptop, I think about it. So I never open my bag once I come back home. It's always inside, and nobody can reach me once I'm out of office. I'm out of office. I was
Right.
like, nobody anyway reached out, but I had to stop myself from thinking, and then how do you say, so, um, actively do things purposefully, that consciously do things like, okay, you need to be out of work after some, like, you need to stop thinking about things, start a new day with a new energy. And that really helped me because then I learned the importance of break and everything, like how important it can be. Because, yeah, leave things no matter how bad it is, to leave it overnight, start with a fresh outlook the next morning.
Right. I,
And
Mhm.
so yeah, that was one of the most fascinating phase for my life, and I also learned about the importance of habits and discipline and everything. Like okay, because I was slipping into depression, so I was like, okay, I'm not taking meds no matter what. So I had seen that with my dad. I was like, okay, I know what the end result is. I don't want that shortcut. I went to my doctor and said, okay, you just write me a sick note that I don't need to be at work. I will work these things out on my own. I don't want to take it at any cost. You're like, I will share, like, this is a short-term solution, right? You're like, yeah, he was a very good doctor. You're like, yeah, this is short-term solution. This is not a actual solution. You need to change things. I
Right.
like, I need time for it. And so yeah, then I got into some really how to go routine and everything, and I could yeah, there was very good help from good friends as well, which motivated and kept me on the path. And then I could finally get out of it, and then finally I could start working again, slowly ramping up. And there was phase which healed me a lot in many ways.
Right.
Then I
I'm
said,
sure,
that I
and I'm so glad that you were able to recognize it and take steps to change your situation. Because I feel like, in the kind of society that we grew up in and the previous generation, they just worked, right? I mean, there was this idea that you study and then you get a job and then you have all these steps to life. You just fulfill those duties. And I don't think we were ever taught about balance, work and life and personal life, and how to like manage all of them. And I believe the world has also been changing so much, and we all
think that's
had
a very
to. Mhm.
it was a time when how do you say, they were struggling to find the basic needs fulfilled, and for them that was enough. And now that is taken care of in a way. We
Yeah.
live in a much better than the next previous generation or the generation before that grew up with the scarcity and everything. Now there's a problem with abundance, but we don't know how to handle it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree to that, right? And it's a part of evolution, I believe, as a society as well. We are, you know, always moving ahead. And as we evolve as humans, we understand. I mean, I feel like humanity is constantly moving in a direction where we are understanding ourselves, what it means to be a human and what it means to uh, have a life, what is life and things like that. And those are things which you start thinking about and, you know, kind of take steps towards once your basic needs are met, because if you're in survival mode, then you're always just thinking about how to survive. But once you go a step above that, you start thinking about more things. Right?
Different survivals, I would put it like because it was just survival. Now it's survival by in the abundance. I would put that's an art in itself. I think.
Yeah, I think it's like from moving from survival to thriving, how to thrive in your life rather than just survive. So that brings me to my next question. What according to you is spirituality?
Spirituality. Yeah, so for me, I think personally, spirituality is it is something which connects me to the how do you say greater energy or the next level of energy which I can't how do you say that you feel a part of being something really big and you all are just how do you say a small hope in the wheel in that sense and that's a
Mm-hmm,
big wheel that you are trying to relate to. So
mm-hmm,
for me, I think that's how I relate to spirituality that you are not a single entity, you are somehow connected with the web of things and ways that you don't even know.
mm-hmm.
That's where that comes in and tries to fill in that gap and you are connected on some level.
Wow, that is interesting. So, I mean, from what you're saying, um, what I'm hearing is that spirituality is this understanding or realization that you are much bigger than yourself. You're much more than just, I
I
mean,
would say like much bigger than I would rather say like yeah, you are part of much bigger things than you yourself as a single entity. You are living in a way you are connected in ways that you don't know, I would say. And that's
right.
and that's what it tries to explain to you or bring you to over to that how do you think what the way however you put it.
That reminds me of this quote which says something on the lines of every drop makes an ocean, right? Creates an ocean. And
Yeah.
we are all, and in that single drop, an entire ocean is also contained. So,
Something on that.
yeah, something on those lines. I ask this question to everybody because a lot of people tell me that, I mean, see me as a very spiritual person. And I don't know what spirituality means as of yet. I can't really define it. And I keep asking everybody what their understanding of spirituality is so that I can understand this better for myself. And yeah, that's a good answer. Thank you.
I think everybody like whatever floats your boat, I would say, because it's trying to find a different path. The goal is same, right? Whichever way you relate to it, like somebody might relate it to with whatever, like how do you say, being the all these pujas and rituals and things which are still connected in a way. That's one of the part I would say. If somebody says no, I don't want to go to that part, I want to find just in the next human being, like be like I am the part of the same. How do you say, cosmic energy? However you want to connect whichever how do you say fundamentals that you want to framework
Mhm,
that you want to use.
mhm.
And they, we are in the same being and this is connected. So I think it's more of an Like everybody might have their own definition in a way, or the way they relate
Absolutely.
to it. But in the end, I feel yeah, everybody is trying to achieve the same thing. So
Yeah.
finally, kind of
Yeah.
meaning in the type of thing or what.
I would I would absolutely agree to that. So that's spirituality. So what do you think being human is?
Being human. Mm, I would say being human is about being conscious of what you do and what effect it can have in the long term, growth of 5, 10 generations. Like what, because we are what we are today is still a part of what somebody 10 generations down the street comes in and cascaded down. So what we do today will also cascade down 10, 15, 100 generations down the line if we survive. For sure. Yeah.
Do you love that?
With nature. Just let's take a minute. It all survives down from here. And I think being human, I would say, like, it's to be being conscious and being how do you say, rising above from all this because somebody said it needs to be done like that or this is good, this is bad. See, have your conscience in place. Let your conscience decide at times and not always by your brain and the numbers that you get down by writing things down or taking topics lot, which is not something right now. But being human is at times doing things which doesn't make sense because it feels right.
Right, right. Wow. I mean, that's a very great quality, what you just mentioned, being conscious of the fact that what you do right now is also going to affect the generations to come, because you are at a point, I mean, any generation, any point in time you take, whatever you are building, that is going to be carried forward to the next generation. Because as you mentioned, whatever we have today is built on what humans did 10,000 years ago, right? And being aware of that and moving that way is incredible. I mean, I gotta salute you for that. That's really brilliant. And
But yeah, that,
mhm.
yeah, yeah, please, sorry.
No, go on, tell me.
No, no, I was like that. But that's a difficult part of today's world, right? We are living in the world which is so much how do you say? It's all about numbers. It's all about thinking things. Because yeah, this is the framework that is there, and
Yeah.
follow it. And we are right.
Yeah, and also we are living in a world which is filled with instant gratification. Everything has to be instant, Nobody is thinking about um, what about 50 years later? Now I'm doing this. How is this going to play out in the coming years? And I think that's also the reason why we doubt if we are going to exist in the future, right? Because there has been no thought put into this, understanding, how is it going to fare out in the long run?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Like one of my roommates, and you should talk to him as well. Uh, So he mentioned was like he said like we talk a lot about the sustainability and everything. But he
Hmm.
was like and he was like, you know what the way he defined sustainability was like something which can really sustain. Be your nature, like you can be very passionate and everything, but like can you sustain that? If you fizzle out in 40 years, you can't bring any change in the world. It's just your ego telling you to yeah, be like that, and that's not
Right,
sustainable.
right.
Uh, and it's the same thing with the world. Like everybody wants to achieve quick things quickly and good things quickly rather. And, you know,
Yeah.
and nobody is thought to like can even sustain. If you can sustain it, then how long? For that matter.
That's a very good point. Sustainability, when it comes to passion, sustainability is so important because when you are passionate about something and when your heart really calls out to do certain things, we also have to take into consideration um, how long we are going to be able to sustain that.
What is right? It has its own limit.
And not lead to a burnout, and let it all
Yeah,
just go up in smoke.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So Gaurav, if you could share a message for the world, to the world, what would it be?
Mm, I would be, yeah, be more conscious. Think about things before you do it, and take out take out a time in a day where you think and reflect upon things. I think we are missing that a lot, and people are just going to this auto mode where they are doing things day in, day out. You have to really need this break and then like how do you reflect on it? Is it the right thing to do? And yeah, I think that would really make this world a better place if we continue to reflect sometime in a day. What did I did 5 days ago? Or maybe once in a week if every day is not possible. But what did I did last week and how does it feel the world? Everything is so well.
That's a really beautiful message, and you are right. We do need more time for reflection because in today's world, once everything is done, when you hit the bed, people scroll on social media, right? Doom scrolling, and
Just in your phone, put in your face.
and really, it's so addictive because I do it sometimes. I wake up in the morning and I just open my phone, and 1 hour has passed and I'm still in the bed scrolling. And I'm like, oh shit, what's going on with me, right? And
Or something. I put a timer on my Instagram because I all alone. Then I'm like, okay, there's a message I need to reply because I was busy during the day. I'm like, I will reply to her or him later. Then I'm like, I need to reply. Then I have to change my timer. The easiest thing was to add 1 hour. I added 1 hour and then that timer got over by the time and I have still not replied to the person that I actually went there to reply.
Maya Jal, you do get, stuck in that hole. I mean, it's so flashy, right? There's just so much happening, and this whole consumerism, like we are, it's crazy.
It's there. So I think, yeah, you have to be conscious. I say you can't escape it because of the world
Yeah,
that we live in. But every
yeah,
time we
absolutely.
everybody is be aware about it. Be
Yeah.
conscious about like, okay, you are part of this. It's not that every time you want something, think about it. You really want it. It's something else.
I would agree. It's wonderful, I absolutely, absolutely agree, and it resonates with me that we need more time for reflection, just taking out even a few minutes in a day to think, reflect back on, the day that you've had and how you feel about it and what you've done. Um, Even though it might seem very insignificant, in the long run it would add up, right? And it would definitely help us become more conscious about where we are headed and what are we really doing here. Are we aligned with what we want? And does this, whatever we are doing, is this helping us, in our journey to where we want to go? That makes a lot of sense. Right. Gaurav, thank you. Thank you so much. That's all I wanted to ask you today in this interview. And I really enjoyed chatting with you. So, folks, if you're watching this, go and check out our magazine. The link will be in the description box below. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Gaurav, thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining. See you, and you have a good rest of the year.
Same to you. I was nice
Bye.
chatting with you.